Yo, welcome to the Underrated Hero Cast with another edition. I'm your host, Deshaw, and this is my boy Darion. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Good to have you on. This is a long time friend of mine, man. It's crazy how we connected back. I ain't seen you in a long time, and it just so happened we seen each other downtown.
Yeah, of
So yeah, man. Glad to have you on the cast, bro. I appreciate you coming on and
course.
giving some people some game. Because you have a lot to
Mhm.
unpack, a lot to unfold for us. So, first off, we're gonna explain. I know you just got to listen to the Marine Corps, so
Mhm.
I want you to just give a brief background on, explain what the Marine Corps is for someone who may not know.
Mhm.
Just to give a little insight into it, it is a branch of the armed forces, so I'm pretty sure most
Mhm.
people do know that. But if you just
Yeah,
go a little
yeah.
bit in detail on like exactly what the Marine Corps is.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I've only been in for about almost 2 years now, but
Mm,
the Marine Corps it's not the Army. It's basically like a response, like the response branch, like the first to
right.
fight. Like
Yep.
uh, basically, I wouldn't say it's like a special like ops, nothing like that, but it's the branch that's like the first to fight, like the 2,000 troops that got sent to the Middle East. Those were Marines. Like we're always ready. Like that's our mission. Our mission is to be ready at any time. Like anywhere in the world, like a Marine battalion could be sent off like within 24 hours anywhere in the world. Like it's
Oh
about
wow.
readiness. Yeah.
Right, right. Cause that's basically cause they're like the most toughest when it comes to training too, which
Yeah,
makes
yeah. That's
sense.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you go
actually
ahead.
what.
Oh, you had broke up. My fault.
Yeah, yeah. That's what attracted me to the Marine Corps. Like it has a pretty good culture. Staying
Hmm.
ready, staying fit. It's a pretty good environment to be in as a young man. I think for sure. As a young woman too, it's a great environment.
What is the why behind you joining the Marine Corps? Because I mean, it's a lot of branches that
Mm.
go into joining the military.
Mm.
So why the Marine Corps?
For me personally, I wanted the challenge. I didn't
Ooh,
want to do the.
okay.
Not, I'm not saying the Army's easy or
Yeah,
nothing else
yeah.
is easy, but
Right,
it's
right.
definitely like the Marine Corps is definitely way more competitive, way more challenging than the other branches, and I kind of wanted to challenge myself. Like, why did I join? Period. Just for the benefits. Like I said, it's a great thing to do as a young man. I feel like joining the military is definitely it was the right decision. For sure. It's
Yeah, I mean that's pretty. I would say that's pretty inspiring that you would say it was challenging because most people would shy away from joining anything that's said to
mm,
be so hard because when you look at the Marine Corps and look at what it's about, that's the first thing that you see: crisis
mm,
response force team, and immediately you just like, bro, like, whoa, like,
mm,
don't send
yeah,
me out there first thing, and so that will cause somebody, want to go into another
mm,
branch, but
yeah.
so that speaks more into your psyche, so.
Mm.
Yeah, man. So how does that play a part? Like, how do you keep yourself mentally like ready to go through that pressure?
So me personally, my job isn't. I'm not like a 0311 like a machine gunner. I'm not in the infantry. So
Okay.
when I first got in, yeah, I had to go through all the training, like school, like the infantry school. I did all that shit, but like I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm crazy. They say every Marine is crazy. Like, but I love the challenge. Like I really do. Like I wanted something that would make me uncomfortable. I wanted something
Ooh.
that would like make me stand out, different. Like improve. Like I was at a stage in my life when I joined where I was very unsatisfied with myself. I
Okay.
felt like I wasn't pushing myself. I felt like I was, you know, living a pretty easy, mediocre life. So I was like, yeah, man, I want to do something hard. Like I want to do something challenging. I want to, you know what? I'm gonna join the military. Like, what branch am I gonna join? Let me see which one's the hardest. Which one's the most challenging. For Marine Corps, I looked up the information. It's a 3 month boot camp. That's the longest boot camp out of all the branches. uh no phones, nothing like that. Like they send you to Paris Island, 3 months,
Mm.
no cell phones, just
Mm.
training. and I was attracted to that.
Right.
You're right. I guess that says something about me. But
Definitely.
just the thought of that really excited me. You know what I'm saying? It really did.
Yeah, because I know you say you joined 2 years ago. So, are you 23 or 22 now?
I'm 22.
Okay, so you did that when you were 20. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
mean
I
yeah.
actually, I actually, it was kind of a irrational decision for sure, because I was going to USC in
Okay.
Columbia. Uh, I was there for about 2.5 years. Uh, I was studying biology my freshman year. Switched my major to psychology. I stuck with psychology for the longest, and then in that, I say 2.5 because that third year is when I actually left. But in my third year, I started doing political science, and that's like that. That was my passion. That's what I found that I liked the most. But yeah, I joined to pay for school for the most part.
Okay.
So that's
Cool. Cool.
why I
Cool.
did join when I did, how I did, because
Okay. Yeah, because I
I
was
knew.
gonna ask was because I mean, because you didn't go straight out of high school. That's usually when people are like,
Mhm.
okay, you're gonna go into the forces or you're gonna go to school, you're gonna go into the
Mhm.
workforce. So you basically went into college and
Mhm.
then you went. So I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's
So.
an abnormal path, but that's like a
Mhm.
path that's like okay, that's pretty interesting because you were
Mhm.
actually in studies at first.
Yeah, and I still am. I love history. I love reading. I love like academics. I love it. I really do. But I had a full ride scholarship to USC,
Oh man.
and I had lost my scholarship, like the main one that was paying for everything. And I wouldn't say I was backed into a corner, but I was pretty much backed into a corner, and I had not many options, and I still feel like it was the best option to join, but that's the option that I went with. I was like, I'm gonna join because I'm still a USC student, but I'm inactive right now until August. That's when I'll start taking classes again.
Okay.
But yeah, I needed the money, so I did what I had to
Right.
do. You know what I'm
Yeah, that
saying?
junk not cheap.
It's not cheap at all.
Right. So so yeah, I know it's different. So you got ground and you got air and you got logistics.
Hmm.
So which one are you a part of?
I'm part of logistics. Logistics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my actual job is supply administration. So what I do is I'm basically like a procurement manager. I order things that the Marines in my battalion, like on my base, like things they need, like SIF gear, which is like a flat Kevlar, backpacks, every things like that. Like they come
Right.
to the warehouse I work at, and you know, hey, we need this, this, that. I get that for them if we have it stocked. If we don't have it stocked, they will put in a request, and we'll get that order for them. And that's basically what I do, like a procurement manager. My
Okay.
job.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I know you said so how long have you been back in the area? 'Cause I know you said you're leaving back out Tuesday. So I don't
Mhm.
understand how most of that works when it's like coming and going. So
Mhm.
like how would you
So,
say your year round process is when it comes to coming home?
so every unit is different. Uh, you know, Lucky enough, I got blessed with being at a non. Well, I mean, like I said, I think for me personally, I feel blessed that I'm not in a deployable unit, just because it allows a lot more stability, and it gives me that opportunity to continue my studies, do all that kind of stuff. I'm part of I work on a nuclear base, like in Saint Mary's. It's at the Florida Georgia line. So
Okay.
my personal mission is like, my base's mission is to guard the nuclear assets. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do is order all the things needed to for that mission to be accomplished. Like, for the Marines to be able to guard these nuclear assets, I'm ordering everything they need. Like, if something breaks, getting it repaired, like putting in that kind of thing.
So you like on call, like they need you
Yeah,
like
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
come
So
on back.
the way I come home is I have that set schedule. Being at this
Mm-hmm.
non-deployable unit, you get leave days.
Okay.
It's 2.5 days. You get a month. But say you don't take leave for like me, I haven't took leave in a while. Like, I've been down there for a good minute. So I had a bunch of days saved up. So I took 7 days of leave, which means I'm off all day, every day, still getting paid, but I'm off all day, every day, and I'm allowed to like visit family. So that's what I did. I
Yeah.
submitted my leave, and they let me go, and I just got to check back in on Thursday. So
Okay.
you can take leave anytime that you want, but it has to be approved. Like, say something was going
Right.
down to where like essential personnel needed to be present, then my leave would just get rejected. But
Right.
things are going. I mean, shit's crazy in the rest of the world, but at my base, things are going pretty smooth. So I had the opportunity to take
Okay.
leave.
Cool.
Mm.
Cool. Cool. So how has this process affected your relationships?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely rough. Like, everybody knows, they got their jokes about Marines, like, oh, they're terrible people, like, fucking don't date a Marine, like,
Right.
that's
Right.
we get a lot of shit for that, but it it's so hard, and you can't even blame a woman or a man, like, for being the way that they are. When you're in the military, you got responsibility, like, you got a lot of responsibility, you got a lot of things that you got to put before yourself. Like, you're part of, like, it's a sacrifice. Like, I'm part of something bigger than myself. So when it comes to personal relationships, like girlfriends, like even family, like, it's hard because you can't be talking every day. Like, you can't. Sometimes, like, when I was training, that was 3 months of me going no phone, nothing. Then I went to school of infantry. That was like 25 days, no phone, nothing. Then I get back, and then I go to like the schoolhouse where they're teaching me how to do supply administration work, and that's a pretty set schedule too. So it's not a lot of time. Like, I had a girlfriend when I first went in. It just didn't work out because I couldn't be there for her,
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's on me, like, no hate towards her, but you just can't be as present, you know.
Right.
So I think it's better to just, if you got a wife, a wife, that's good. But girlfriends, it's so hard to date in the military. It's just, so that's
Yeah, I could
why.
imagine.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
some service members are the way that they are, just because, you know, say you go on a training deployment and you're gone for like 90 days or something, your girl most likely gonna cheat on you. Like,
Right.
it's just a sad reality of the world we live in. Like, it's,
Correct. Yeah.
people get lonely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, 3 months, no phone. I can't talk to my significant other. I mean, I wouldn't even blame them. At that
Mm-hmm.
point,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean,
Yeah.
3 months is a long time. That's 90
Yeah.
days. So I mean, I
Yes.
respect you for
Mm-hmm.
diving into that, because that's
Mm-hmm.
basically showing you're not selfish. Just you understand that that's
No,
how it's
yeah,
gonna
I get
work.
it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's very difficult, man. It's very difficult to have good, healthy relationships. It really is.
And then, like I said, we're gonna transform into a more significant topic that's going on in today's world.
Mm.
If you guys, I don't know if you've been following up, but in this month, the Israeli and Palestinian conflicts have definitely arose again, which has been going on my whole life, your whole life, our
Yeah.
grandparents' lives, and I
Yeah.
mean, it just seemed like a
It is.
never-ending thing. But this is like more significant.
Mm-hmm.
So, giving a little background on it, the Hamas, which is a militant Islamic group, they had control of Gaza since 2006, and
Mm-hmm.
to make a long story short, I mean it's controlled by the Hamas, which is the Islamist fundamentalist party, and so you got and like help me out here, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like a lot that goes into it because you
Mm-hmm.
got the Israelis and you got the Muslims. So
Mm-hmm. See
basically,
that? Yeah.
oh
So
no,
when
go
it
ahead.
comes to that, I feel like, I mean, I want to try to stay as unbiased as possible,
Mm-hmm.
just for the people
Right,
listening.
right,
But I hate that this is becoming like a Jewish versus a Muslim thing. Like,
correct.
it really should be. It's an Israeli and the Palestinians. Like, that's what it is. It's
Mm-hmm.
two people. You know, I hate, it's like holy wars, man. It's like the story of this
Yeah.
world, like, just never ending, like holy wars. I hate that. I really do. But yeah, keep going, keep going.
Oh yeah, like I was saying. So to make a long story short, they really want like a two-state solution through the United Nations, but we've
Mm-hmm.
never been able to come to terms with that because you want to just keep them separate inside of the
mm,
same entity basically, but that's
mm.
not really how they want to work it. They really just want to have either one big Muslim state or one big Jewish state. And
And
I mean,
mhm.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So when it comes to that, so what a lot of people don't realize is like Palestine. I mean, it's like I said, I'm trying to stay unbiased, but Palestine was its own, sovereign nation. Like it,
Mm-hmm.
I think they were like Turkey. Yeah, they were a Turkish like territory, but they were like they had their own things going on. Like they were their own people. The Israelis, well, I mean, the Jews, like the Holocaust, all that stuff, like everything that went
Mm-hmm.
down. A lot of Jewish people, mostly Eastern European, they moved to to Palestine or modern day like Israel. They moved there to escape, like the harsh realities that they were going, like concentration camps, all that. Basically, the world decided to give the Jewish people like a place to live, like a place to call home, like a sanctuary, even a
Mm-hmm.
safe haven. And that place was Palestine. And just like America with the Native Americans, the Native Palestinians kind of, they weren't being considered. They
Mm-hmm.
were, and like you were saying earlier, the two state thing, all that, like the Palestine, Israel, that was how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
divided that way. But like you said, it's just conflict after conflict. The the Jewish community and Zionists, like they don't want to share Israel with the Palestinians. And
Right.
if is that because they're Muslim? Like I'm not even sure about that. I just think it's
Mm-hmm.
more they want it to be theirs.
Right.
So
I mean,
like
because
the
I mean,
Balfour
that's the.
Declaration.
Oh no, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I was
like
just. Yeah.
1917 is when like that Balfour Declaration happened to where a lot of is Jewish people were moving back to Israel. And
Mm-hmm.
so basically from 1917 and still ongoing today,
Mm-hmm.
tensions have just been rising and rising. Like it's really a messy situation.
Correct.
It's
Because I mean, Israel is our only Jewish state, so I can see why it would make sense. Because I mean, that's kind of why they feel like it's like this is ours. You know, what I'm saying this is all we
mm,
have basically,
mm,
and I hate it for both sides. Like I said, trying to stay as unbiased as possible.
mm.
Um, but cause like even with, cause I mean, I think tensions did die down a little bit within the Trump administration. Cause then he basically
You
stopped.
see, this is the thing about that. Like Western media, like where we live
Mm-hmm.
at, these like things have been going on. Like people like terrorist acts have been happening on both sides. Like
Okay.
Israel has been
Yeah.
committing war crimes. Like that's what they've been doing that for a long time. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny that America didn't care and we didn't get involved. Even now, like
Yeah.
I think people are starting to realize more. Like people are doing more research. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
being they're seeing like hold on, like Israel has been like kind of in the wrong. Like they had these
Mm-hmm.
like an apartheid state. Like they had these people kicked out of their homes. Like they had these people murdered, bombed. Like they've been doing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you really like, what do you expect is going to happen? Like you
Right.
lock people in like an open air prison for 16 years. Like you said, like Hamas was
Mm-hmm.
elected. And I mean, who do you expect the people to elect? Like, of course they're going to elect the militant group because they've been
Right.
in a prison for 16 years. Like, it's the third most densely populated area in the world. And why? It's because they've been forced into that small, like the West Bank and in Gaza. That's
Mm-hmm.
all the Palestinian people have just been forced, pushed into that little corner. It's
Mm-hmm.
really even speaking about it, even us being here in America, like we could never understand what that's like. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah,
it's a
definitely
very
not.
complex situation. Like it's very complex. Like Hamas versus the average Palestinian. Like how do you differentiate? Like because when you see it in the news, it's gonna say the Israel and the Hamas conflict. Like it's not gonna say
Mm-hmm.
Israel and Palestine. Hamas is this group that has attacked Israel, but
Yeah, 'cause that's
it's
more
just
so
so
what I'm
complicated.
seeing. That's why I said when I opened up Israel and Palestinian, because I mean that's
Yeah.
That's the basis of it.
Yeah,
Been
that's
rooted
what,
ever
bro.
since.
These people, they want freedom. Like, and at the end of the day, I mean, they're at war. Like, it's a war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not some terrorist act that came out of the blue. It happened randomly. Like, this tension has been going on, and I mean, it just got to that point. Like the pressure for it busted the cap. Like it
Where are
had to
more
happen eventually.
where are most people leaning towards in the United States? Like where are you seeing more people being biased towards?
So I like to watch independent sources when it comes to news, just because like I was in political science, and they'll tell you, like, you know, which, like, CNN, Fox News, like, you know, it's a lot of right leaning news places, and then there's a lot of left leaning news sources as well. But definitely, for sure, when when things first happened, it was America was pro Israel, like,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, 100%.
Yep.
Like I remember watching the news, and they were just, reporters were so passionate about calling like them terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Hamas is a terrorist group, comparing it to ISIS,
Yep.
just victim. Like, I mean, I get what they're saying with the anti-Semitic thing. Like, that's definitely a very serious thing, and I feel for them. But also, they've been in the wrong. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was it's a war. Like I said, it's a war, and it's a very complicated thing. Like, there, someone like you could argue that Israel has committed more acts of terrorism on the Palestinian people than Hamas did to the Israelis. Like, and you remember all that fake news that was coming out, and it was fake. Like the 40 babies with their heads cut off. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yes. Yes.
That
Yes.
was completely fabricated. Like, that wasn't, like,
Mm-hmm.
that didn't happen. You know, just so
That's
you get an
crazy.
idea of how it was. Yeah, like,
Mm.
it's, and I'm not saying fucking like Hamas. I'm sure they definitely have their fake news, whatever. You can both, like I said, you got to go to an independent source, and it's really hard right now because there aren't any independent sources in Gaza right now, because like they're not allowing that. So you got to
Ooh.
catch the mainstream. Like, you got to go on what's mainstream. Like, Al Jazeera is a big source of news for like the Middle East, and that's going to be biased towards like the Middle East. And then you also got to watch, you know, the Western media, which is going to be biased towards Israel. Like, you got to
Mm.
see both sides. Something that I do is, if I'm hearing something and it seems to agree with my bias too much, like if I'm watching something that's just confirming my beliefs too hard, I'm always going to want to question that and dig deeper. Like,
Facts.
immediately when I saw 40 babies had their head cut off, like, immediately something in my head said,
Yeah.
okay, let me look into this, because, you know, it's, but that's part of war too. Like, this media thing, like, it's not by accident. Like, this is that's warfare right there. Like,
That's tactics.
trying to win the people. Yeah, trying to win the world. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Netanyahu, whatever his name is, that man is a terrible person. Like, I will say that. Like, he
Mm.
is. But a lot of people are seeing that now, and I like that. I like that the truth is coming up. I feel like the
Mm.
news is definitely getting less biased. You know, at the end
Right.
of the day, you know, America is going to support Israel. You know, but
Yeah.
at least, like, truth, the people are saying the truth. You know what I'm saying? And
Correct.
that's
Correct.
good.
That's why I was saying this is being more significant because now we're actually having talks about it. I'm seeing it all on my Instagram, and so that's why I was like, okay, it was definitely bound that this happened because you were the first person who approached me about this, and I was like, okay, yeah, like this is actually
Mm-hmm.
something, because it actually made me want to dig deeper into it because I just
Mm-hmm.
kept seeing it. Then, like I said, when you approached me the other night, that's why I was like, okay, yeah, maybe it is
Mm-hmm.
time to actually talk about it. And I'm glad I
Mm-hmm.
did dive deeper into it because you just been seeing it ever since you were a baby, like, and
Yeah,
and coming up
like
you
pro.
always see something
Yeah.
about Israel, but you
Mm-hmm.
never hear the other side about the Muslims, which is
Exactly.
pretty
Yeah.
crazy, right? So I'm
Yeah.
glad you did bring that up because you just hear
Mm-hmm.
so much about Jewish people, Jewish people, Jewish people. Even dating back to
Mm-hmm.
last year, when Kanye said the whole said what he said,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then that's when it even sparked more, I would say, drive for Jews because that's when America,
Yeah.
we're standing with them, and then I think,
Mm.
I mean, would you say that when that did happen last year, would you say that added more fuel to the fire against the Muslims too, in an instance?
See, when it comes to like Muslims and Jews, I feel like they've always been in conflict over there in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like the Kanye statement, like anti-Semitism, like that's a big issue. I don't want to take that away from it. Like I want to recognize that like nobody
Right.
deserves that kind of Jews. They definitely had it rough. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're it's bad, and it's such a fragile thing because things like that Kanye situation can spark so much hatred. Like
Correct. Yeah.
even if he didn't mean it that way, even if he was like you know even if there was some truth to the things he was saying, it's just it like you said, man, tensions can rise, things it can get bad, it can get real ugly, like the kid, the Palestinian kid that got stabbed in in Chicago, like somebody killed a
Mm-hmm.
little boy because of like the tensions. And when Kanye was saying whatever he was saying, there were like Jews in New York that were getting spit on and kicked, and it's a crazy world we live in. It really is. So it's hard to really like differentiate from what's real, what's fake, because there's a lot of bad things happening to
Right.
both
And
sides.
it is funny you was bringing up earlier about how the media is pushing for us to be pro Israel because I mean
Mm.
during all that was going on, he people do say how you want to band together. I don't know if you have really like looked into this. I'm pretty sure you have on like coming up on how people have always said like how the Jews they stick together and how I wish I was a Jew because how they stick together for each other, how they band together, and how they control certain things.
Hmm.
Because I mean, and it's not even so much more about because of course this is more of a religion thing. So like I said, it's very touchy. I don't want to say too much,
Hmm. Yeah.
because it is very touchy. But
Mm.
when you hear people term things on ownership, you don't really hear a black or white thing or a race thing. You hear more of Jews owning things.
Yeah, but I mean, when it like I said, like when it comes to that thing, like at the end of the day, like you hear like that, it's definitely anti-Semitic speech when someone says stuff
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, the Jews are stingy. The Jews they do this." Like that's
Right.
a stereotype. At the end of the day, like there are some very powerful like Jewish business owners, and they tend to want to conduct business with fellow Jews. Like, does that make them stingy? Does that make them blah blah blah? No, like
Exactly.
you can't really blame them if you feel some type of way about the way a man does business. Either just copy his business plan. Like it's no reason to hate
Thank you.
or spread hate. Like you know,
Thank
like you were
you.
saying,
That
you said you like
yeah.
wish you yeah, like if you see somebody acting a certain way, building an empire, building wealth, what do? They keeping it in the family. Then maybe you should keep it in the family if it
Do the
bothers you
same.
that much. You know?
But we don't do
Yeah.
that though. As black people, we don't operate like that. It's
I will. Yeah, and I will say it. That's kind of a southern thing.
right.
Like I feel like black people as a nation are definitely evolving, and we're crossing
Mm-hmm.
that hump. When I like to travel a lot. When I go up in New York, man, it's black business. It's there, man. It's black businessmen. It's it's this Instagram page. Well, it's not just Instagram. They got YouTube and all that stuff. It's called Earn Your Leisure. It's two black entrepreneurs from New York that they have a podcast where they go into they basically are teaching financial literacy.
Okay.
And you would actually be surprised on I mean African Americans are starting like we're starting to you know handle business. We really are. We
Definitely.
really are.
Definitely.
But in the South, man, the South is just a little behind. It definitely the
Behind.
South is a little behind. Yeah.
Cause you got to think, bro. Like even what I'm doing, you don't see a lot of journalists, and that's
Uh
why I
huh.
say I want to tackle that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a lot of young media, and that's pretty crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
Yeah,
have no
man. Like,
coverage. We don't have really no coverage down here outside of the radio
mhm.
stations, and yeah, really just that.
Yeah,
um.
like I definitely like I feel like we definitely are isolated, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a stigma too. Like northern guys, they don't really want to mess with southern guys. Like, but I will. I don't want to like drive this narrative too hard because like things are changing and there are spaces where black people are working together and creating things and there's like thriving businesses. that are black owned, but it's definitely something that needs to just keep going up because
Right.
we're not where we need to be, as a people.
Right. And like I said, this has been really wonderful because even with the conflict that's going on over there in the Middle East, you can see how it is how you were saying when we first started. This is of the world. Like it has something to say about all of us, not just them, but
Mm-hmm.
all of us. Because I mean, what is it all about with all of us? Power
Mm-hmm.
and and greed, and that's what it boils down to. It's like, nah, I don't want to share anything with you. I
Mm-hmm.
want it all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, man.
Yeah, and I
That.
mean, like it's a war, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing wrong with, like, say Israel, like, they go to war and they win. Like, if they win, like, that's them, like, they won, like they've had
Correct.
conflicts that they won. But there's rules for a reason. Like, there's like the war crime committing and all that. Like, imagine if America decided they didn't care about the rules of war and they wanted to violate war crimes. Do you know, like, what we could do to any other country on earth? Like, I think they said like China, Russia has like 2,000 missiles or something, like nuclear. Like, we got 5,000. Like, it's just we're
Right.
on a different level. And for us to allow this kind of, and I do say allow because I do think America has a responsibility. We shouldn't be allowing them to do what they've been doing for so long.
Yeah.
Sending them
Yeah.
all this money. Israel has the most sophisticated intelligence organization, like, in the world. Like, they are number one with intelligence.
You are
And I
right.
hate to get conspiracy theorists, but
It's
you mean to
funny.
tell me that they didn't know that Hamas was planning that attack? I I think, I really hate to say this, but I really think that they
Who do
knew.
you think didn't know? Who do you think didn't know? Because I was hearing that, um, from reading some articles that people think, of course, Islam has been planning this. That's of course what you're gonna see in the
So
articles. But
Islam,
who do you
that's
think really knew about it?
I mean, Islam is a religion that's like, Islam is the religion that Muslims practice.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Hamas, I think they planned this for months. That's very clear. Like, they knew that it was planned for months. Egyptian authorities even, like, kind of told Israel, like, hey, like, they're planning something big, like they've never done before, like, and Israel, like, brushed it off. See, I think that they knew that this attack was going to happen, and they allowed it to happen because they want to get rid of the Palestinian people. Like, this is a genocide. Like, by definition, this is a genocide. Like, there is over 300 miles of tunnels in Gaza. That's like the Hamas operatives. Like, that's where they are. They're in those tunnels. These bombs are killing civilians, like children. Like, the Gaza. I think the median age in Gaza is like 22 or something. Like 48% of their population's like under 21. Like, these are all like civilians that are dying. Like, they're not. This is a genocide. Like, they want to get rid of these people, and that's what I believe. Like, they want to get rid of these people. Now, if they're going to
Yeah.
war and they're fighting it out, and they win, whatever. That's them. But, like, that's what they're doing. You can't lock up people up like that. They're like apartheid, all that. You can't do that to people. Like, this is what's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna fight back. So, like, it needs to be handled. Like, and I don't even want to say peace because these people want to be free. Like, in freedom, liberation, that's more important than peace. So I don't even want to say that the Palestinian people need to stop or the Israeli people need to stop. Like, this is something that needs to be handled. Like, all the war crimes that are being committed, like, no civilian death is one. Like, I feel bad for the loss of life on both sides, but at the end of the day, this thing needs to get straightened out because it's not right how these people have had to live. Like, it's really not right.
Exactly. Yeah. But I don't think now. I think it's as far as peace goes, and as far as anything like that goes, I don't think it's gonna happen either at this point. I
Yeah,
think it's now. It's that time, and
I mean, I mean, yeah, I genuinely can't see how this is gonna end. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't know. I have no idea how this will possibly end. Like, I really don't. It's just,
what do you think is the best possible outcome and the worst to end it off?
The best possible outcome is the end, like somebody wins. Like that's the best outcome. Somebody needs to win, and the violence stops. Like they're calling for a ceasefire. Do I think that's gonna happen? No, I don't.
Mm-mm.
But the best case, the best way that this thing could end is definitely with a winner. Because if
Mm-hmm.
there's no winner, it's just gonna keep happening again and again and again. Like, but even winners or losers, like it's such a complicated thing. Like it's such a complicated conflict. The worst possible outcome, which is kind of happening, is they just erase the Palestinians off the map. Like,
Mm.
and then the world continue. Like, wouldn't that be so crazy if they just wiped them out and then the world just continues
They
normal
operate.
schedule?
They operate like nothing happened.
Yeah, they just killed the Palestinian people, wiped them off the map, and like
Mm.
we that's still our little brother. Like Israel still,
Yeah.
it's not good. It's not a good thing.
Mm.
That's why I feel so bad for us allowing this, enabling it, even.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very complicated thing, man. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's sickening to see. Like it's sad. Like all these civilian deaths. Like it's so sad, bro.
Yeah.
And it's really happening. Like these kids, man, they're growing up in God. Like there's so many people, like kids in Gaza, who have only known that life, and that's the only life that they ever knew.
Right.
It's very sad. It's very tragic. Like it's very very tragic. I pray that they get out of there, man. Like I pray something happens. Like something.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, this is such a sensitive. It's a huge topic that's going on. I hope more people hope this can inspire people to look into it more and actually see
Yeah.
what's going on around the world, other than just over here in the Western world. We got
Mm-hmm.
things that's going on, and that's definitely something that's significant. Um, Especially if you really care about people and what's going on. Definitely take a look into that,
Yeah,
and
for
just
sure.
just get informed. Just get
Mm-hmm.
informed because I mean, like I said, it could be you. So
Literally, yeah.
definitely,
And
like literally, like I said, we're like, yeah, I mean, it's not too much better over here. As far as
I
like
mean,
when it comes to like, of course, it's better like our living
yeah.
situations, but I mean, coming down the pipeline, like,
Uh,
you know,
hmm
as far as
I
war
mean,
goes, I mean, it happened to us too. So it's
it
just
can.
like, you know, of course, I don't
Yeah,
mean in the aspect of like we have
yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
have it
No,
better
no.
than us because they definitely,
Uh,
we definitely have it far better. But it's like we could definitely be
uh,
on that side too
mhm.
at any given moment. So
Yeah, for sure,
that's
for
that's
sure.
how I
And it's
look at it because especially me being a Christian male who
mhm.
expresses his love for Christ. You know what they talk about coming down the pipeline when it comes to that. When you
Yeah, and
profess your love for that, yeah, go ahead.
that's another that's another issue is this is why the Palestinian people like have people think Palestinian equals Muslim, equals
Right.
Islam. Like there are Christian, there are Jewish Palestinians, Christian
Mm-hmm.
Palestinians. Like these people are not. It's not a Muslim thing. Like this is a country. These are. It's like the Native Americans. Like it's it's bigger than religion. Like these are people that think about like the Jews had nowhere to go, so they go to Israel. Why are the Jews getting this special treatment? Like now the Palestinians have nowhere to go. Where's their promised land? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And as being in the Western world, being Christian, a lot of like people that read the Bible, they're gonna kind of resonate with Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear about the Jews, like those are the characters in the Bible. Like Jesus was Jewish. Jesus was like born in Palestine. A lot of people don't know
Mm-hmm.
that. Like this is it's. I'm glad that people are seeing this because at first it was a
Right.
Muslim thing. Only Muslims knew about the reality of Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
No Christian would entertain the idea. It took for it took for it took a lot for people to finally look into it, and I'm glad that they are because these people, whether no matter what their religion is, they deserve
Exactly. That's why.
basic human rights, bro. Basic human
Right.
rights.
That's why I said what I said because it's like you confess your faith or your love for anything, you know. Like I said, you could be on that side as well. Like I said, that's especially with people, who are of different races, gender. We have things like that going on as well, and it's just like
Yeah,
it's always something, man. Your skin, who you love, what you like to
yeah, man.
do. It's just something that someone wants to. Okay, yeah, we don't like that, so let's go ahead and execute on that. And
Yeah,
that's just a sad reality of the world. That's how I look at it. I look at it in the lens of, well, dang, I do this, I do that, and it's like, okay, what if somebody really hated me enough to the point where, okay, I want to really get your kind off of here,
yeah.
and
And
that's
as an
how I
African
look at it.
American, yeah, yeah. Being African American, like I feel for them, like
Mm-hmm.
deeply, like I really do. Like think about the civil rights movement, like where are their civil rights, man? They're not getting anything, but it's an
Right.
apartheid. Like it's like, Nelson Mandela was on like the terrorist watch list.
Correct.
Like just so you know what kind of country we live in, like how they view things. It's so complicated, man. I feel for them so much because they don't deserve this. Like and I think it's so beautiful, bro. Any Palestinian you meet, they're gonna be passionate about it. They know their stuff. They know what's going on. Of course, they're gonna have their bias, being from there, but it's
Mm-hmm.
frustrating, man. You can't blame them for being as passionate as they are about this thing because it's something that they've been, like you said, they've been protesting stuff like this for a long time, and they're finally like getting coverage. And they were furious when the attack first happened. If you turned on the news, they're calling them terrorists. Like they're
Mm.
telling them, saying they're killing babies. Like, and that was very frustrating for the Palestinian people. But it's coming to the light. I think it's coming to light. Everything. Yeah.
Yes,
But
sir. Like I said, for both sides, I know we're wrapping up here. Once again, thank you
mhm.
for really giving insight and explaining. Cause like I said, you were teaching me too. In the
Mhm.
process, because like I said, it made me want to really dive into it and see exactly what's going on. Because you're just seeing one
Yeah.
side, and it's okay. I
Mhm.
want to actually see what's going on both sides, and and then I
Mhm.
feel like you just form. Of course, everyone's gonna have their opinion. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
can't shy away from that. Some people are gonna side
Mhm.
with the Jews, some people are gonna side with the Muslims, and that's just what it is. But I just pray for the outcome of the betterment of both sides,
Yeah.
that we can move
That would
past
be.
this.
Yeah, man. That would be beautiful. Like tensions escalating. Like it's terrible, man. What's the world coming to? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like why we shouldn't repeat history. Like they're it's so, like I said, it's so complicated trying to stay unbiased, and I didn't give as many details as I would have about everything just because I want to encourage people to look into it themselves.
Correct,
Like,
no doubt. Oh, now you
but
really gave
yeah,
no, you really gave some good insight, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You gave some game.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
long story short, like the Palestinian people, Hamas, they had an election, like you said, in 2005. Hamas was elected. They
Mm-hmm.
took charge. Since like 2006, Hamas uh, was elected to be in charge of the Palestinian state, which is Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that happened, they were put under a blockade, like siege. Like Israel and Egypt had Gaza in a blockade,
Yep.
open air prison. Like they went through that for 16 years. So what do you expect to happen, really? You know what I'm saying? It's a
Right.
crazy thing. War crimes being committed. I encourage everyone to look into this. Like just do your research so you can understand.
Yes,
So you can
sir.
really understand.
Yes, sir.
Don't believe every one piece of advice I want to give everybody. Do not like believe every headline you read. Like you got to do some your own research. You got to do your own causal research. Like you got to look at independent sources. You got to be aware of bias. Like it exists.
Yes,
Just you gotta like if you truly care about something, then educate yourself about it. You know what I'm saying?
definitely. You gotta look at keywords, key phrases. I'm telling you, that's
Yeah.
the main
Yeah.
thing. You gotta look at the keywords and the
Mm-hmm.
key phrases in these
Mm-hmm.
articles. Cause I
The
read
tone,
articles.
all that.
Yeah, you see, I read
Mm-hmm.
articles more than
Yeah.
turning on the news because you know, that's easy to hear just by the tone of voice. But the articles, that's where I can really deep dive, and I have a different list of them, and I can really decipher and figure that out. So I really encourage. I mean, of course, do both. Watch your news, do what you got to do, but
Yeah, of course.
really
Just
read.
be
Like,
aware.
definitely read. I'm telling you.
Man.
But I hope
I'm
I hope this cast. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm an avid reader too. Like I read a lot. That's important. Like you got to read, man. You got to. It's important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But like I said, I hope this cast was definitely informative for you guys. This has been another edition of the Underrated Hero Cast. Once again, Darion, I thank you for coming on, bro. Much
Thank
love
you, man.
to you. Best of luck to you on
Love.
your journey, bro. And don't let this be the last time we talk, man. I'm gonna definitely be checking in
Yeah,
with you.
man. I'm gonna have to holler at you next time I'm in town for sure.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna definitely check in with you, man. You have a great rest of
But,
your night, and you guys have a good
yeah.
one.